Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of the Bible. We are in Genesis, Genesis 7 this will be today. Genesis 6 was talking about Noah's life, how he came from, well, it was in the lineage of Adam that we find that Noah has been born, and he had 3 sons, and his sons had wives, and God had told him, you better build an ark, buddy, because I'm choosing you to start over, and you and your family need to gather everything together that you're going to need to survive and bug out, because, I mean, seriously, that's really, God lifted the ark up with rainwater, and for the first time ever it rained, and well, that's what this chapter 7 is all about. So let's just dig right in. It's called the Great Flood. Then the Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 of each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2 of each animals that are unclean, a male and his female, also 7 of each birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the faces of all the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all the living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all the Lord commanded. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. So Noah with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean animals of the earth that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth, 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. So that's a really, I'm going to take a little pause there. Oh, it's starting to get dark. The windows of the fountains of the great deep were broken up. And that's, I think, referring to the original way that God watered the plants coming up from the earth, and now he's going to make it rain from the heavens. And for the first time, the windows of heaven were opened up. And on that very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife and his 3 wives entered the ark. They entered, and every beast after its kind, all cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into the ark 2 by 2, of all flesh, in which is the breath of life. So that those that entered, male and female, of all flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Now the flood was on the earth for 40 days. The water increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth. And the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. All the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all the flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life. All that was on dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both men and cattle, creeping thing and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive, and the waters prevailed on the earth for 150 days. Oh, it's getting really dark. Okay, well, that's the end of the chapter, but I think it's neat, repeats himself, all the nostrils that had the breath of life, and all that was on dry land died. He destroyed all the living things on the face of the ground. They were destroyed from the earth. Just the clarity with which they want us to understand, nothing was alive, nothing was left. But then I started to think, as I was reading that, that was all the creatures that lived on the land. And all the sea creatures, I guess, probably would have survived. Which, is neither here nor there. I just, it wasn't every living thing, but that's not what it said. It said all that had breath that crept on the ground and was on the face of the earth, the dry land. So, that makes sense that all the sea creatures would actually survive. I was wondering about that as I was reading. I just pray that you'll, sometimes that flood does close in and it does get dark, and when dark times are happening, you just trust that you're in that ark of protection, and God's gonna keep you safe through whatever storm you're raging through. And Noah's just a classic story of one man, his family, going through a horrible storm, a horrible change in their lives, and God helped them through it, and He'll help you through whatever it is that you're struggling with today.